Hey, Greg here for Party Foul, and we're going to do a video on Warlocks and Fury, and a little bit on casting spells and feats and stuff like that. If you have time, go and watch the companion videos, reading the cards, and Warlocks, or Warcasters, sorry, to get all the information. So right now we're going to cover that, just the Warlocks. Warlocks begin the game with a number of Fury equal to their Fury stat. Unlike Warcasters, they don't just replenish their Fury at the beginning of their turn. They have to leech Fury from their War Beasts. We will do a separate video from that, but I'll cover that briefly on the tabletop when I go down and do it. They can spend that Fury to cast spells. They can boost attack and damage rolls. They can buy additional melee attacks, or potentially reload if they have a reload ability on their ranged weapon. And they can spend that Fury to mitigate damage in a way called transfers. And that's different than Warcasters, where Warcasters spend one focus to reduce the damage from a single attack by 5 points, where a Warlock spends a single Fury to transfer the entire damage to a War Beast in their control area that is not maxed on Fury. Okay? So we're going to go down to the tabletop and I'm going to give a brief example of how to do some of that stuff. Okay, so this is a situation at the beginning of the circle turn here. We have Tanith, the Feral Song. She's a 6 Fury Warcaster. She's got a couple of War Beasts with her that have done work last turn, and they have some Fury on them. So at the beginning of the turn, she has 3 Fury on her. Both War Beasts are in her control area, so she can take Fury points off them up to her maximum. So she can take 2 off Getorix. And this is something I like to do. I like to use different tokens for the Caster's Fury and the War Beast's Fury. That takes her up to 5, and she can take 1 more from the Argus Moonhound, up to 6. If there's any leftover Fury, they'd have to make frenzy checks. We'll cover that in a different video. So now the circle turn, say they want to start with Tanith. Tanith can cast spells or do abilities. So in this case, she is going to cast Scything Touch, which costs 2, has a range of 6, targets a friendly faction model. She puts it onto Getorix. I'm sorry, I was better prepared here. I don't have my tokens out. But there's a token for Affliction. And then she...
Scything Touch. And then
Scything Touch, sorry. Scything Touch too. And then she's going to declare a charge on the Stormclad, so she's speed 6, plus 3 is 9, and melee range of 2 is 11. So she charges to here. And then once she gets to there, she can interrupt her charge attack to cast Affliction for 2. Affliction is a range 8 offensive spell, so it requires an attack roll, targeting an enemy model with an 8. So in this case, she wants to put it on Haley, which is permittable because you can cast spells out of melee. It doesn't have the restriction like ranged attacks where if you're engaged, you can't use them. So she targets Haley. Haley is in range. She is in line of sight. She boosts the attack roll. Say she lands it. Affliction gets put onto her, which gives her -2 defense. And if I don't exceed her armor, she takes takes 1 point of damage. After that spell is done, I resolve my charge attack. I rolled a hit. It's boosted because it's a charge attack, and then I can spend that Fury to buy an additional attack. If it hits, I cannot boost because there is no additional Fury. She's going to be naked, but say she doesn't buy that additional attack and she keeps 1 transfer. And then we do the rest of the unit's activation. Say Getorix charges Haley, fails to kill her, the Moonhound, I don't know, runs around and is silly. And then the following turn, this is going to be a quick example of how to transfer damage. Say Getorix, he maxed out because he really wanted to kill Haley, but he failed, and the Moonhound just ran to there. So during Tanith's turn, if she takes damage, like say the Stormclad punches her with his big sword, which is really powerful, and does 16 points of damage, she can spend 1 Fury to transfer that damage to a War Beast within her control area, and she has 2 War Beasts in her control area, that's not maxed out on Fury. Getorix's Fury stat is 4, he's maxed out on Fury, so I cannot transfer to Getorix. The Moonhound's Fury stat is 3, and he has 1 Fury, so I can transfer to the Moonhound. So I spend that Fury, transfer the 16 points of damage to the Moonhound, my opponent rolls a spiral so that I can apply that damage to the Moonhound, and then Tanith doesn't receive any damage. I'm just going to be lucky if she survives. But that gives you a sense of how you can spend Fury. So that's Warlocks and spending Fury, and a little bit about spells. I'll quickly mention Feats. I didn't mention that. Feats are a one-time per game ability that your Warlock has that they can use during their activation. And they're all different, so you have to read the feat carefully. It's on the back of the second card for the Warlock. And some of them are a pulse. That means that it goes out and affects the models, and then those models can go do their thing. And the wording on those types of feat will be models currently in control area, or models in the Warlock's control area get +5 armor or something like that. So then those models can go off, do their thing, don't have to stay in the control area. if it says while within such and such's control area, then that means that the model has to remain within the control area of the Warlock to benefit from that feat. And I guess something I didn't really mention, but a control area is double the Fury stat, or double the focus stat for Warcasters, in inches from the Warcaster. So in Tana's case, she's Fury 6, so her control area is 12 inches. So 12 inches from Tana's base to any other models will be within her control area. So that's a brief summary of Warlocks. Check out our other videos.